on a night where SmackDown celebrates their 900th episode. This evening was the final build towards the Survivor Series. This Sunday night, it's all gonna be about brand supremacy. Who's it gonna be? Who will be the true A show of the WWE? Ladies and gentlemen, SmackDown put their final touches on this show, and it was one for the ages. Not only did we have that, but we also had the return of the Cutting Edge with one of the greatest performers in WWE history, the Rated R Superstar Edge, and then another legend made its appearance, and it was one to behold. Let there be light. The return of the Deadman, the Phenom, the Lord of Darkness, and one of Michael Bullock's favorites of all time. Multi-time world champion, first ballot Hall of Famer, The Undertaker. And not only did he make his return, but tonight he made an announcement that is going to rock the foundation of not only the WWE, but SmackDown Live as we know it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Cerebral Smacktalk. And my God, what a night it was. SmackDown Live. You know what? We're going to talk about SmackDown Live tonight, and we're going to go no time limit, no nothing. Because this is such an epic episode, I am going to make an executive ruling right now. I am not going to do a Mikey's Mindset. The hell with the Mikey's Mindset tonight. There will be no Lucha Underground. There will be no Ring of Honor news. There will be no RWA news. The hell with it. Tonight we're going to focus mainly on SmackDown Live, and ladies and gentlemen, Dee Woodson, Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, I want free reign. You guys can talk as much as you want, go into full details if you want, because I believe this show deserves that type of treatment tonight. This is the final build since the Survivor Series, and this is going to be a 4-hour event. We are going to go balls to the wall. We're going to let the dogs loose tonight, and I don't give a damn how long this shit goes. You guys get free reign. We just let the fans revel in this. All right. So, with that said, we're going to jump it off. We had a little impromptu segment. Of course, it was Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon to hype up the crowd, get the fans ready for what was undoubtedly was going to be a great show. And then we got thrown with the first fight of the night. And boy, did we get, wow, what a way to jump it. The Intercontinental title match. That's right. We didn't wait. We went right into it. It is Dolph Ziggler putting the title on the line against The Miz. And ladies and gentlemen, now, and once again, the WWE Intercontinental Champion, he wins the title. Yes, there was a little bit of some chicanery. Wow. Okay. This is what I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna say like this. This was a great match, an absolute firestorm of a title fight. I loved it. I thought the body of work of this title match was amazing. Now, I'm going to criticize a little bit of the finish because it was your typical standard heel-like victory for The Miz. Maryse got involved. The Spirit Squad tried to stick their nose where it didn't belong. But at the end of the day, The Miz wins. He gets the belt back. And I really think this is the right move to do, actually. For Miz, now he's got to fight Sami Zayn at Survivor Series. So there's your interpromotional title fight, folks. The Miz representing SmackDown Live versus Sami Zayn versus Monday Night Raw. And even Sami Zayn posted on Twitter saying, it's a darn shame because I think me and Dolph Ziggler would have, we would have stole the show. And it would have been a great title fight. No doubt about it. But he feels more better because now he could focus on The Miz. And if The Miz does indeed drop the belt here, that's the big thing too, folks. If The Miz drops the belt, that means the Intercontinental Heavyweight title goes to Monday Night Raw. I think Anthony Floyo must be salivating over the fact that I think he now got to believe that maybe, just maybe, we might have a new Intercontinental Champion coming down the horizon, guys. I mean, I'll go and I'll say it. I think we're going to have a new IC champ. I think Sami Zayn's taking the belt to Raw. Just me personally, just my thoughts alone. We'll wait and see what happens. But whatever the case may be, this was an absolute amazing match. Fight of the night for me. Even though the finish was a little clunky, I could give this about maybe 3 stars. I mean, it was amazing. Anthony Floyo, come on in, my friend. It is all yours. So give me your thoughts. And yeah, it's yours.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, MF. And hello, friends. It's Anthony, the Hitman Floyo, the man who tells it like it is. Back with you for another edition of the Cerebral Smacktalk. Not too much free reign because this man who tells it like it is has a little thing called work commitments in the morning. So let's try to keep it not too long, ladies and gents. So small request for this guy, but nonetheless, though, I 100% agree with everything MF just said. Fight of the night, no doubt about it. Even on the rating, yes, 3 stars. Let me get into my liner notes on this. I like the move back to The Miz. As silly as the finish was, they went back to the well way too many times in this feud to keep it interesting. But Ziggler was going nowhere as a babyface champion. This change also allows them to take shortcuts with the finish on Sunday and avoids a lukewarm match between 2 babyfaces that didn't have a ton of momentum as characters. Sorry, but that's just how I feel about it. Even though I kind of wanted to see it. But match was good, but it felt somewhat disappointing due to the high quality of their previous outings. Miz versus Zayn makes more sense from a heel versus face dynamic. And I think it could be I think it should be a good match, no doubt about it. And I think I know how a couple of these matches are going to go. As far as Miz and Zayn is concerned, I think there is a realistic possibility we could see Sami Zayn win the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship and bring it to Monday Night Raw. That would be awesome. And I think in return, SmackDown Live, Kalisto, I think Kalisto is going to win the Cruiserweight Championship from the Brian Kendrick and bring the Cruiserweight Division to SmackDown Live. I think we're going to have a trade here. Raw gets the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, and in return, SmackDown Live is going to get the Cruiserweight Division and the title, which I think would be wonderful. Because I think SmackDown Live could make that Cruiserweight Division much better than Monday Night Raw ever did. Even though the match with Kendrick and Sin Cara last night was really good, this would benefit the cruiserweights. I mean, SmackDown Live should have had it to begin with. It never made sense to put it on Raw. Raw's made it a mess. So, just a couple of quick points I wanted to get off my chest. So, 19 minutes and 10 seconds, 3 stars. I agree with MF's rating. MF, I agree on everything you just said there. Yes, this Raw guy is definitely salivating at the thought of the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship becoming exclusive to the A show, the flagship show, if you know what I mean. So with that being said, fight of the night, 3 stars. Agree with MF's rating 100%. Phenom, Michael Bullock, let's get your thoughts on The Miz and Dolph Ziggler yet again and the new champion.
Yes, hello, friends. This is the Phenom, Mike Bullock, an excited Phenom, if you know what I mean. We'll get into that later on, but yeah, this was an exciting night. SmackDown Live, its 900th episode, and yeah, what a great way to start it off with the Intercontinental Championship on the line. And I agree, this is the fight of the night, 3 stars, and you know what? I'm actually fine with it too. I'm fine with the result, and because to me, it's better to have a face versus heel for the Intercontinental title than a face versus face. I am a little disappointed because I would have loved to see how Ziggler and Zayn would have done if they indeed had faced off for the Intercontinental title, and who knows, maybe it would have stole the show, but you never know. But who knows? This matchup between The Miz and Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship still could turn out good. Maybe not as good as what we thought was going to be with Ziggler and Zayn. And I think this could be an indication that maybe the Miz is going to drop the belt and Sami Zayn will win it and bring the Intercontinental Championship to Monday Night Raw. And that could even indicate that maybe the Cruiserweight Championship and division could come to SmackDown Live. I mean, we still got a few nights before to think about what's going to happen, but yeah, I mean, it was a great match. I did not like the clunky finish, but you know, it is what it is, and it was still a good match for what it was, and a good way to kick off the 900th episode of SmackDown Live. So 3 stars is my rating on the match. So let's bring in the Twisted Angel, Dee Woodson. Come on in and give us your thoughts on this Intercontinental Championship match to kick off the 900th episode of SmackDown Live.
Wow. They actually started a show with a match. I'm kind of surprised about that because from what I've seen out of both Raw and SmackDown, it's always started with a segment, not a match. So I'm really surprised about that. I agree with most everything everybody said. You know, match of the night, 3-star rating, clunky finish. But, you know, I think the biggest thing I agree with the guys on is the fact that I do think that, you know, Miz is going to end up being the paper champion on this and lose it to Zayn, and that we're going to have the title go to Raw and the Cruiserweights come to SmackDown. So, yeah, I there's not much more I have to say about that because I think you guys pretty much covered it. So let's just move on.
All right, so the next thing we had was, now this is actually a blessing in disguise. Now it's Kalisto one-on-one with Oni Lakan. Now, for all you Beyond Wrestling fans, now I'm gonna give you guys the bone here. This guy here is known as Biff Beswick. Now, he is huge in the New England area. I mean, Anthony Floyo might not know about him. Michael Bullock, I know you probably won't know. Didi Woodson's probably looking at me like, what the heck is this going? Derek Ferreira and myself know this guy really well because this is a Beyond Wrestling guy. He's done wrestling from XWA, which is out in Warwick, in West Warwick. He has even made a couple of appearances at RWA shows as well. So this guy is well known. He's an indie-style wrestler, and he actually got an opportunity and actually was a part of the CWC. He was in the Cruiserweight Open. He was going over on of another name, got eliminated early in the tournament. So that's why he got eliminated, I believe, like first round, something like that. So recently, he's been on NXT, working his way up. And tonight, because Kalisto is in a fight and they are promoting that Cruiserweight, the possibility of the Cruiserweight coming to SmackDown if Kalisto gets the job done and wins the belt, now you're going to see more of these guys come through. A lot of these unknown guys that haven't gotten opportunities are going to get chances. With that said, Kalisto did win the match with the Salidas del Sol. Anthony Florio, it is all yours. Give me your thoughts about the match and give me your prospect or your feelings of if Kalisto does bring it, what type of excitement do you see of the Cruiserweights being on SmackDown?
Okay, I can do that. I got a scouting report, so Kalisto would be a wonderful champion for SmackDown Live, and like I said, SmackDown Live would benefit greatly if they were to get the Cruiserweight division. Monday Night Raw has totally micromanaged it, and they have put on very lackluster matches. You give them time on SmackDown Live, and I guarantee you those shows will be a hell of a lot better. As far as the match was concerned, no rating to a dud. Kalisto managed an obvious botch in a match that lasted a minute. I'm not sure whether you can call it bad luck, but it's certainly an unfortunate pattern. I have no issue using underutilized NXT guys for enhancement roles. Lorcan was aggressive and competitive, and the right guy won heading into the pay-per-view. And, Kalisto will definitely make SmackDown Live a better show, no question about that, especially with, SmackDown Live will make the Cruiserweights better. Let me rephrase that. And there's really nothing left here to say except I'm hoping he wins that match because I really don't want to see the Cruiserweight division on Monday Night Raw anymore, because if it stays on Raw, we're going to keep getting those lackluster bouts each and every week. Nobody wants that. I don't want that. So, and as the guy who's been, LaCorn, who has been pretty much the poster child for the Cruiserweight Classic, and yes, the Cruiserweight Classic was unreal this past summer. Saw it all. Looking forward to the new show in 2 weeks, which will be on my Tony's Take as well, starting on our December 5th edition of Ridiculously Raw. And then, SmackDown Live needs the Cruiserweight division. It should have been on there to begin with, because after all, you had Mauro Ranallo and Daniel Bryan work it. So now hopefully we can finally get it on SmackDown Live, and then maybe we can get some more tope suicidas out of Mauro Ranallo on commentary. Gets the heart going. That's all I can say. So I pretty much said my piece on that. No rating to a dud. It was the worst fight of the night, but it served its purpose. So Bullock, what says you?
Yeah, no rating to a dud. This was basically a warm-up match here for Kalisto before his Brian Kendrick for the Cruiserweight Championship, and I agree with everything he said. The way Monday Night Raw has been using that Cruiserweight division, it's been lackluster, and Anthony Florio and I, we've gone off on this Cruiserweight division on Raw, and even Michael Fletcher has. I mean, everybody is upset with the way this is, and you bring that Cruiserweight division to SmackDown Live, it'll be 10 times better. I mean, remember what Daniel Bryan always said, it's about opportunity, and I'm sure him and Shane McMahon can make this Cruiserweight division better than what Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley are doing on Raw with that Cruiserweight division. So, and I am rooting for Kalisto to win this one, because if the Brian Kendrick wins, as long as the Cruiserweight division's on Raw, it's going to continue to be what it is. Lackluster and disappointing. Nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree. It was pretty much a dud. It was, just to me more like the old enhancement matches, just trying to get everybody ready for the pay-per-view match. I haven't seen a whole lot of Raws, but I have seen several of the cruiserweights between the Raws I've seen and the pay-per-views, and I do agree that as long as you leave it on SmackDown, the Cruiserweight division is just going to suck. It's going to end up being like the ho hum divas we had before. So it definitely needs to be put on SmackDown, where it will flourish, it'll grow, and who knows what we'll see. But I have a feeling it'll be a lot better production than what we have now. So let's just move on.
All right, guys. So the next thing we had was, we don't have to talk about this, but I think it just needs to be noted. I thought this was pretty cool. This was a backstage segment. It had all the tag teams that was going to be a part of the Survivor Series squad. And then it basically was the reveal of King Booker. Now, everybody knows King Booker was one of the most famous guys on SmackDown, as a World Heavyweight Champion, United States Heavyweight Champion, and he had some of the great moments in his career. So I think he was really a mainstay on SmackDown, and it was cool. Then you had, nice little, he worked his famous catchphrases, can you dig that sucker, the whole 9 yards. So it was fine what it was worth. Nothing bad to say. All right. Now, we had some fun with this. Carmella goes one-on-one with Nikki Bella. Apparently, the fight got thrown out because, during the match, Charlotte Flair, the WWE Raw Women's Champion, showed up. And she had a ticket, so the match was continuing on. And Nikki Bella decided, you're in my house, biatch, we're throwing down, let's brawl. So she tosses her over the guard railing into the ring, starts trying to beat her up. The next thing we know, all hell broke loose. The Raw women decided to invade SmackDown. That's right, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Nia Jax, I saw Dana Brooke as well, and Alicia Fox, and it was a 6-on-1 beatdown. Then Carmella, out of nowhere, I don't know why the hell you did this, she was trying to get a piece of Nikki too. They're like, oh, no, you're SmackDown Blue, we don't like you. So they were going to jump. All of a sudden, the cavalry showed up. That's right. It was Becky Lynch. We saw Natalya show up. She rolls in. Oh shit. I'm drawing a blank here. Okay. Then we had Alexa Bliss. She rolled through. And the next thing we know, all hell broke loose. The women were brawling. In the immortal words of Joey Styles, it was a cat fight! Cat fight! It was a cat fight all over the place. And at the end, it was the SmackDown women that stood strong. But I need to tell you, just as a SmackDown guy, Nia Jax is one hell of a problem. We're gonna have she is gonna be a biatch to get out of that fight, man. Good luck, SmackDown, if you can pull that off. But with that said, who starts? I believe it's Michael Bullock. So
Yep, it's me.
All right, Nomar, it's all yours, man. Go for it.
First off, I gotta say, damn, I always get a kick out of when you use your inner Joey Styles with that cat fight. I mean, man, you know what? Besides Joey Styles, you do it. You do it even. You just do it even. I think you do it better than him. I mean, I gotta be quite honest with you, but any event, unfortunately, because this match ended in a no contest, I have to give this the match an NA. But I mean, it actually felt more like a segment because, well, basically you had Charlotte show up with the ticket, and then Nikki Bella basically is like, biatch, you're in my house? That's it. I'm throwing the gloves down and I'm hauling your ass out of the seat, and we're getting it on. And then just as we find them, the rest of the Raw women show up, and for some reason, Carmella still wanted a piece of Nikki Bella, and I'm like saying to myself, "Oh no, Carmella, you're part of Team SmackDown Live. You need to be fighting with Nikki Bella, not against her." And then the rest of the cavalry showed up, and boy howdy, it was on. I mean, and the thing I like is, I mean, Nia Jax was basically looked like she was gonna squash Becky Lynch in that railing there, but Becky Lynch basically moved out of the way, and Nia Jax got knocked down. And I'll be quite honest right now, that Nia Jax is going to be a problem for SmackDown Live to try to eliminate. And I mean, good luck to anybody. I mean, Raw right now has to be very lucky to have someone like Nia Jax on the team. I think the key thing is, when it comes to this women's match, is the egos on both sides, because we know for Raw, Bayley, Alicia Fox, and Sasha Banks will be able to get along with each other. But the question is, will Charlotte and Nia Jax be able to get along with them? Because obviously we know the ego of Charlotte Flair. She only cares about one person, and that's herself and the women's title. And then you jump to the SmackDown side. You know you got Nikki Bella, Naomi, and Becky Lynch, who are going to be able to get along, but you got two egos on SmackDown Live for the women. That's Carmella and Alexa Bliss, because let's not forget, Alexa Bliss is still upset about how she should have been the SmackDown Live Women's Champion, because remember, in that match last week with Becky Lynch, she had her foot on the rope, but the referee still called for the submission. So, and then you got Carmella, who basically can't stand Nikki Bella. Can those two put those egos aside for one night? We'll just have to wait and see. But match was an NA, but the segment, but the brawl was much better than the match. So, Twisted Angel Dee Dee Woodson, I know you're the what I like to say, the queen of our talking about the women's division, whether it's Raw or SmackDown. what are your thoughts on the match and the Survivor Series elimination match for this Sunday? Team Raw versus Team SmackDown Live for the women's side.
Hold on, but before Dee goes in, she's more like the judge, jury, and executioner. No, I gotta admit it. You are, because a lot of the time
I agree.
You go with some judgments and you normally kill these women. So,
I think I kill the writers more than I kill the women.
Here's the thing, Fletch. Remember how Florio says that he likes to tell it like it is? Well, when it comes
she
to the
really
women,
tells it like it is
when it comes to the women's division. So
I agree with that. All right, Dee, go ahead.
All right, Dee, go right ahead.
No, I think I destroy the writers more than I do the ladies. But before I get into the ladies' match, I'm going to jump back to the segment that Fletch brought up on the SmackDown tag teams, and King Booker being out there. In my opinion, I think it was really appropriate for having King Booker out there because of all the years that he tagged with his brother over at Nitro. And
I gotta correct you, Dee Wednesday. It's King Booker.
I'm not gonna even try that because I'll butcher it with my Oklahoma accent. Sorry about that. You gotta remember, I'm an Okie, so I've got the Southern draw here. So unless you want to hear Paula Dean trying to do a New England or accent of where you guys are from, you're not gonna get that from me. Sorry about that. Anyway, I think it was appropriate to have him out there just because of the fact that him and his brother did have the tag teams for a long time over at when we had Nitro and Thunder and all those with the WCW group. So and Breezango coming out doing the ticket things, that's them with the Fashion Police. Give me a break. I mean, that's going to get old really fast. So, but anyway, going back to the match and what's more relevant right here, right now. The match itself, yes, it pretty much was an NA, but I understand why it was pretty much the no contest, and that's just because you're trying to hype up the storyline here and trying to get everybody prepared for the ladies' Survivor Series match. And I think in the past we've all said, we want to see the ladies getting in more matches like the guys. And, here we're finally, these last couple pay-per-views, we finally got it. We finally got to see the ladies in a Hell in a Cell match. And we're finally getting to see them in a traditional Survivor Series match. And we're getting some of these big matches that the girls have never had a chance to do because they've always been showcased as your enhancement talent by throwing them in pillow fights and throwing them in mud matches and lingerie crap and all these other crappy little matches or segments that they put them in. I think one year they had them out there doing some sort of a dance contest thing. I don't know. I'm not going to get into all that, but I think it was about time that we did this, and I think this was a very strong showing for the SmackDown ladies, and I'm really looking forward to this match at the pay-per-view. But did anybody get the idea of that truck that kind of ran into the side railing that almost ran over Becky Lynch? I mean, dang. Nia Jax certainly, she is going to be a force to be contended with. And I think they're going to end up having to treat her like they do when you have Mark Henry in the ring for the Royal Rumbles and stuff, or Big Show, the big guys. You're going to have the ladies team up together to actually take the woman down, because I don't think there's one person that can do it by themselves. I think we're going to have to see these ladies actually put differences aside, something that we know right now is going to be hard for Carmella and Alexa Bliss to do, but they're going to have to do that just to face Nia Jax alone, because once you take her out, I think it's going to be a lot easier to for the teams to take it on, especially for SmackDown take on Raw, because these 5 ladies are, in my opinion, are the perfect match for the other 4. But when you get Nia Jax in there, you've got a whole different ball game, because she's like almost like the Mark Henry of the ladies division. I mean, she's a big woman, and for those who don't exactly know, I mean, she's related to The Rock, and so you've got a lot of family history here with that family, and all of them being in the wrestling business. So I am looking forward to seeing what is going to happen with this, how they plan to deal with the Nia Jax problem, and may the better team win, because both teams are in very, even though I wasn't there for Raw last night, I think both teams are in very good shape for the Survivor Series match. And may the better team win. And we'll find out who, in the end of the pay-per-view, is going to be the more dominant show. Will the A show be moving to SmackDown, or will Raw retain the title of being the flagship of WWE? We'll have to see. So, Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, how do I follow that? My goodness. But I'll try my best. As far as the bout is concerned, you could say it's an NA. Yeah, I can understand that. But I'm going to give it a solid 2 stars for the effort. It wasn't a pretty match, but it was largely what it needed to be. The issue is that Carmella is a very incomplete performer, and her heat segment is very repetitive and lacks real aggression. The segment was really good overall, though. Much longer match than I expected, especially considering the outcome. I liked Carmella focusing on the injured neck, and the neckbreaker spot out on the floor looked very convincing. As far as what happened afterwards goes, Nia Jax ragdolling people was done to nice effect, and the SmackDown team looking strong here means they're going to lose on Sunday. Oh, yes. Monday Night Raw is winning the women's match. I don't care what good old MF has to say about that. But I got news for you, Mr. SmackDown Live. The Raw ladies are going to take the SmackDown ladies. Nia Jax alone is going to be the difference maker. And it's going to be the small start to a massive push. Because I think, maybe not the end of this calendar year, but I think sometime in 2017, you heard it here first, Nia Jax will be a WWE Raw Women's Champion. It doesn't matter if it's Charlotte. It doesn't matter if it's Sasha Banks. It doesn't matter if it's Bayley. 2017 is going to be the year of Nia Jax. Believe that.
I think I think the only way SmackDown Live has got some kind of a chance is for to eliminate Nia Jax. I mean, that's the only way I see them winning it.
Right.
Other than that, I just don't see how Team Raw could lose this match.
It would have to be one of those moments where it would literally have to be like Rusev getting counted out. If you remember when it was Team Authority versus Team John Cena, it would have to be one of those weird moments, because remember, in a Survivor Series match, pinfall, submission, countout, or disqualification will eliminate you from the match.
Any way, shape, or form, right, Gorilla?
Any way, shape, or form will send you to the showers very early in the evening. So yes.
Man, trying to go for that vintage old school feel on that. And if MF and I were doing the commentary for that on Sunday, You know, MF, we would have to go as old school on that as possible. You do know that, right? I mean, Gorilla Jesse old school.
Yes,
So,
I do know. Yes, I do know.
Okay. Anywho, the SmackDown women will have a moral victory either way, as they get to go back to a division that's actually booked well. So that was the little liner note I wanted to finish there. But Dee Woodson saying that it's great to see that the ladies are finally going to be in a Survivor match. I don't know if Dee Woodson has forgotten, but we have had women's traditional Survivor Series matches before in Survivor Series history. The very first Survivor Series, Fabulous Moolah captained the team against Sensational Sherry Martel. That was a 5-on-5. And then we'd have to wait 8 years before what I still consider one of the best women's Survivor matches of all time. Alundra Blaze and the 3 Japanese wrestlers she had against Bertha Faye and the 3 Japanese ladies that she had. And then fast forward all the way to 2008, when you had the Raw Divas against the SmackDown Divas. Raw won that match, mainly because of Beth Phoenix. And then 2009, you had Mickie James captain the team against the Michelle McCool captain team. And two of Michael Fletcher's all-time favorite women, Mickie James and Melina, were the survivors of that. I know he was salivating that night, trust me. And then from there, let's go to 2013. Well, of course, you had the Team Total Divas against the Team Anti-Total Divas. And then 2014, you had an Alicia Fox captain foursome against a foursome captain by Paige and Alicia Fox. So there's your little history lesson right there. So courtesy of the professor. So yes. So this one here, I think, could rank as the greatest one. To me, when it comes to what was the greatest women's traditional Survivor match, for me, it's a toss-up between the Team Moolah, Team Sherry from 87, and the Team Alundra versus Team Bertha from 95. I would have to say slight edge to the Moolah and Sherry match because of the standout performance by the Jumping Bomb Angels that night. So, although the one in 95 was just as good. 1A, 1B, basically. But when you look at the body of work of the girls you have now, the Nikki Bella team and the Charlotte team, I think it can be a really good match. If they put their mind to it, they take it seriously, they book it correctly, and book it like a women's revolution match instead of the hot garbage that was the ho-hum diva fights, like Dee Woodson mentioned, when you had the Barbie dolls running around in those degrading, ridiculous matches. Yeah, there were some guys out there who enjoyed them, but, for guys like me, well, considering where I stand on the faith threshold, well, I got a problem with that. To sum it all up, it's like MF as Triple H and D-Generation X, the new D-Generation X, the 2009 style D-Generation X, or 2006 style D-Generation X. Michael Fletcher as the Triple H, and me as the Shawn Michaels. The Christian Shawn Michaels, the born-again Christian Shawn Michaels. You know the story. I think I pretty much spoke in my piece. 2-star bout. Really looking forward to this women's traditional match. And if they put their mind to it, book it correctly and take it seriously, and we get to see some actual legitimate wrestling out of this instead of ho-hum diva stuff, it could go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, women's traditional Survivor Series elimination match of all time. Even though I think Raw's going to win, because come on, Raw's going to win it. So that's all I can say about it. Let's move on, MF.
No, I agree with that. I think Raw definitely has the better talent going in. On paper, it's a little bit of a mismatch. When you have Bayley, You have Charlotte, you have Sasha, but Nia Jax is the wild card in that one. And I know a lot of people were not too thrilled to see that Alicia Fox is the one getting the spot. Even though on the SmackDown side, you got Naomi, a nice young up and coming star. You got Nikki Bella, the queen of the division. Becky Lynch, the defending champion, and two young upstarts in got two very young upstarts when you talk about Carmella and Alexa Bliss. So, I mean, you got good talent there. It's just, how's it going to come all together? We'll wait and see on Sunday night. All right, guys. So now we talked about the women's. Now let's get into the tag teams. And we had an 8-team tag team match. The American Alphas, the Usos, the Hype Bros, and Breezango versus Ascension, Spirit Squad, Vaudevillains, and the Headbangers. And the winners of the bout was Alphas, Usos, Hype Bros, and Breezango, as it was the grand amplitude by the American Alphas on Thrasher to put them away for the 1, 2, 3. Dee Woodson, I'm going to give it to you, my dear. So what did you think about this match?
Well, I'm only going to give it, about maybe 2 stars, if that. It basically it was the same thing as the ladies. You're basically trying to get the storyline here together for the upcoming pay-per-view, and proving that the SmackDown team is ready, for what they have to face on with the Raw team. But it just wasn't a whole lot there, because the fans wasn't really into it. They were more into the fact that Heath Slater was outside the ring. I think they would have rather had him inside the ring than outside. But like I said, I'll give it about 2 stars, mainly for the effort the guys put into it. But for me, I didn't see it as a powerful main event. Didn't see it for something that you really want to end the show with, that was going to be memorable. So I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to Florio.
Dee Woodson, I think, with all due respect, I think 2 stars is a little generous, if I'm being real honest. 1 star for me. They had 11 minutes and 16 guys and largely did jack in a poorly laid out match. The final few seconds were fun, granted, but they could have done way more with that segment. It felt chaotic in all the wrong ways, as there was no flow or structure or any kind of that, of any kind other than go do stuff. That's really all there is to say on that. And to sum it all up, the tag match was a cluster bleep with all those guys out there. They'll need to get through a few eliminations on Sunday before things become less absurd. I'm glad that was a 1-fall match. And to sum it all up, before I give it to Bullock, let me just say it like this. The first 2 years of the Survivor Series, we saw the 10-on-10, the tag team style elimination matchup. 87, we had Team Heart Foundation against Team Strikeforce. Solid 4-star bout. And then in 1988, which I thought was 4.5 stars, almost 5, you had Team Demolition against Team Powers of Pain. Both of those matches were great, but I thought the 88 match was a little better, if I'm going to be real honest, because of the bodies of work. Both matches were phenomenal. I am hopeful that WWE takes that same approach, especially with this being a 4-hour show. They can give these guys all the time in the world for it. And I'm going to make a bold prediction. Michael Bullock, you heard what I just said. I'm going to make a bold prediction right here and right now. This tag team elimination match at Survivor Series say hello to your opening match of Survivor Series. I think this is going to kick off the event. I can't think of a better match to start the show than this one right here. You want to get the crowd white hot and invested, especially in the bizarro land or the bizarro world that is Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Book this match first. Period. And a quotation and a statement. Bullock, it's yours.
You know, I'm going to beat you guys in the middle. I'm going to say 1.5 stars is my rating on the match. I mean, for what it was, but it was really nothing to write home about when it comes to this match. Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything Anthony just mentioned about this tag team elimination style Survivor Series elimination. I think it could possibly kick off Survivor Series. I don't know. We'll definitely have to wait and see. So, yeah. So you pretty much touched on everything. So 1.5 stars is my rating on the match. So there's really nothing more to say except let's move on, Fletch.
Oh boy.
And we're gonna have some fun with this,
Guys, it's time. It was the cutting edge with the rated R superstar himself. He introduced the members of Team Smackdown one by one. Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, Shane McMahon, and of course the team mascot for Team Smackdown, James Ellsworth. But that wasn't even the minute. That wasn't even a moment that has everybody talking. It was the one that came next. The Undertaker returned. The biggest pop of the night, probably one of the biggest reactions I've ever seen. He gets into Shane McMahon's face and backed up. He told the group that there could be no man to be commissioner better of SmackDown than a man that has no fear. Mutual respect and a lot of love for Shane McMahon. And he goes and says, I got 2 reasons why I'm here. Number 1, WrestleMania no longer defies who he is. And he is back. And digging holes. What does that mean? That means The Undertaker is back on SmackDown Live. Exclusively to SmackDown Live. He said that he was born in the Survivor Series and SmackDown has always been his home. And then he said that he heeded the warning, and this was a major warning to the SmackDown crew. He said that this year's Survivor Series, there is no reason to fear failure, but if you fail, you will have a reason to fear the deadman. And Team Raw and Anthony Florio, you better hear this. Taker said that Team Raw better, and I think he also say probably will, rest in peace. Wow. I just got chills just saying that.
Yeah, hopefully you heard that warning, Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley.
This was awesome. Segment of the night. I mean, what is there to say? It was everything you wanted to be and then some. Not get jacked up after Taker showed up and the way that he talked and brought it home This is what brand warfare is all about. This is why Raw and SmackDown is where they're at today. You didn't need anything more. I don't even think SmackDown could have gotten any more better. Now with the inclusion and with the acquisition of The Undertaker, part of the SmackDown Blue. I mean, my God, what a roster they got now. And yes, Raw got the upper hand last night when they brawled with SmackDown. But I'm going to go out and say it. And I'm making this bold prediction. Anthony Florio said it, and I'll agree. The women of Raw will most likely win their match. The SmackDown men will defeat the Raw men at the Survivor Series on Sunday night. And I'll even say it with the only way that I can say it. Book it. Anthony Florio, what says you?
Obviously, we have a difference of opinion as far as that's concerned, Mr. SmackDown Live. But let me just get it into this. I mean, as far as the outcome is concerned, though. But as far as the segment goes, we definitely agree on this. It was the segment of the night. I mean, picture it. Undertaker and Edge in the same ring. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you remember how much fun it was when those two were in the ring? Do you remember how much fun we had following that feud way back when? Whether it was for the World Heavyweight Championship or not, it was awesome. And quite frankly, it's not about that. What it was about was, laying the groundwork for the Survivor Series. And was it just me, or did The Undertaker kind of seem like Vince Lombardi out there? I mean, it was kind of like a Vince Lombardi type thing, or a Bill Belichick type of thing. I mean, seeing Edge was one thing, but having Taker come out and be a part of that. I mean, Michael Bullock and I thought it was going to be for a different reason. We thought Taker was going to, cut a promo by himself and then kickstart that little dirt sheet that Bullock heard about a few weeks ago about a possible Randy Orton Undertaker feud down the road, which could lead to a match between the two at the Royal Rumble. Nowhere near that. I did have a small feeling that it could have come down to that when he said, "I'm here for two reasons." I thought the second reason was to address Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt because they were going after Kane, but that never happened. So we're gonna have to read into that what we will. To hear Taker say he's back doing that whole thing, whoa. Taking souls and digging holes, yowza. Undertaker's back, man. And he's seemingly broken his association with WrestleMania to be a regular, which could be interesting. And I'm not going to lie here. I kind of want to see one of those guys screw up. Maybe even AJ Styles. And then see Taker go after him. I think AJ Styles can give him a hell of a match. Speaking of that, what if Cena were to beat Styles for the title and then defend against Taker at Mania? But there are some out there who are saying, man, I wish Taker would have been back to take Shane O'Mac's spot on the Survivor Series team. A little bit of a problem for me because, hey, Shane may not be the greatest, but he's not the worst either. We know what he can do. He's been in a traditional Survivor match before. Winner take all, 2001, greatest one ever, 5 stars and beyond. And some are even saying it was also a bit of a lackluster finish. No, I don't agree with that. It was a awe-inspiring finish. And that's all there is to say. I mean, Taker being there, the most interesting element of it is that he said he's back and that the SmackDown team has a reason to fear him if they lose. But that could easily be misdirection. If he is going to be back on a limited role on SmackDown, John Cena seems like the highest profile feud they could pull off. Because, there's still those rumors about Taker and Cena at Mania, which would be the ultimate dream match. And I think it's going to happen. I really do. Does it really need the title? No, it does not need the world title whatsoever. That should not be for the WWE World Championship. That should be a straight up one-on-one match. Even though, they could, but I don't think they will. But we'll see. Excuse me. But for right now, that segment was... Now, I remember, MF, you remember end of September 27th when we did this show. We said that Miz TV segment with Dolph Ziggler, where, that Miz segment where Miz and Ziggler had that awesome promo segment that set up the No Mercy bout. What's the segment of the year for SmackDown Live? I think that just got trumped. I think this is the SmackDown Live segment of the year right here. With Edge being there and trying to rally the troops and, going after Orton, my former partner in RKO and that whole thing, I got chills during that. Watched it back a couple times. Excuse me, but all in all, Edge was one thing, but throwing Taker in there as well, whoa. If that doesn't give you goosies, what will? And as far as the outcome of the Raw versus SmackDown match goes at Survivor Series, the men's side, honestly, it's tough to call. It really is. Of course, I want Raw to win. But there's this part of me that thinks SmackDown's going to win because the SmackDown won it in 2005. MF knows that very well. I had him over at my house. We had a lot of fun during that match. And when SmackDown won, especially Orton, he was bouncing like friggin' Tigger, for Christ's sake. So that's all I can say about that. So nothing left for me to say except segment of the night and your new segment of the year for SmackDown Live. Michael Bullock, Phenom, your man, he was there. First time since WrestleMania, 7.5 months. Tell me, was it worth the wait? And also, how awesome was it to see Undertaker and Edge in the same ring for the first time in a long time?
First off, segment of the night and the SmackDown Live segment of the year. To me, it was worth the wait because there were times throughout the show I was like, okay, when are we going to see The Undertaker? When are we going to see him? And we saw him and Edge in the same ring. Whew. Man, that's just a recipe for not only segment of the night, but segment of the year. No doubt about it. And to hear The Undertaker say that he's back, taking souls and digging holes. Yeah. SmackDown Live is already good, but you add The Undertaker to that mix. Wow. It's only going to get better and better and better. And that chilling warning that he gave, it almost like first he was like giving like some kind of a rally speech to the guys from SmackDown Live, and basically he just, he made it perfectly clear. He said they should not that they should not, that the fear of failure should not be their concern. Should fail, you should fear the wrath of the Phenom. And something tells me in that match, somebody's going to try to screw over SmackDown Live. And I think whoever that person is going to feel the wrath of the Undertaker. And normally when you think of the Undertaker, you think of WrestleMania. But to hear that he's back on a regular basis, whew, man, that all I can say is that's going to put some butts in the seats. That's going to put some eyes on the screen on Tuesday nights. You better believe it. I mean, and something tells me with the way AJ Styles was, I get the feeling he's probably going to screw things up for SmackDown Live. And maybe the Undertaker will go after AJ Styles. Now, could you imagine that potential matchup? The Undertaker against the phenomenal AJ Styles? Matchup that I certainly would love to see. But we'll wait and see. But segment of the night, segment of the year. And all I can say is Dee Woodson.
What are you doing now?
Oh, sorry.
Oh boy. Yeah, it's definitely this segment of the night. I'm probably not going to say a whole lot about it because I think you guys pretty much covered it. I mean, it was just amazing to see Edge out there. Amazing to see Taker out there. Good to see that Shane was trying to rally the troops, even though, you know, in my opinion, AJ kind of was hindering with that just a tad bit. Do like Shane calling or changing the name of SmackDown. That was kind of cool. But yeah, it was definitely, you know, a good segment to get you ready for Sunday. And you know, after seeing that and after hearing Taker's warnings, you know, I'm definitely ready to see what comes out of this pay-per-view on Sunday. So that's about all I'm going to say. So Fletch, it's yours.
All right, guys, that's it. So it's time for the overall review. Anthony, lead off.
Good. I was hoping to. 6.5 to 7 out of 10 is my rating for this show tonight. Let me get into my quick little liner note here. Overall, this was a show that had some fun moments, but nothing that really pushed it into the category of being great. The Intercontinental Championship match felt a little like a rerun, and the rest of the action wasn't much to talk about. The 2-hour format helps, yes. And that's one of the saving graces right there. 900 SmackDown, somewhat a bit of a letdown. Miz and Ziggler wasn't anywhere close to even their top-end TV stuff. The Taker segment was great. They did some solid build for Survivor Series, but it didn't really feel like a great hard sell. Taker's return, though, opens up a lot of possibilities. Miz and Ziggler was the fight of the night, no doubt about it. It was great to see King Booker there. That was really good. But if I was going to recommend this show to anybody, I would simply say this. Check out Miz and Ziggler. Check out the ending of the women's match. I'm not saying check out the match necessarily. I'm saying check out the ending of the women's match. Check out that. Try to get that backstage segment with Booker. And then most definitely, I would recommend the main event. You got to check that. You got to watch that segment. Strongly suggest you watch that segment. You got to go out of your way to watch that segment. if some of the matches have been better, if we had a little more nostalgia during the show, then maybe I would have given it a higher rating. But for right now, I can only give it 6.5 to 7 out of 10. That's the best I can do. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this 900th episode of SmackDown / Go Home to Survivor Series show? Bullock, you with us?
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 as well. I mean, I thought it was a good show as well. I mean, it could have been better, but, you know, it is what it is. But really got nothing more to say. I mean, you guys pretty much touched on everything. So, Fletch, let's just put a bow on this edition of SmackDown Live.
Before we do that, there's one more person that needs to go. Dee Woodson, you got the last word tonight.
Yeah, 7 out of 10. Definitely. It was definitely.
Dee? I think we might have lost her. Oh boy. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, go ahead, my dear.
Okay, the cat pushed the mute button on my headset, so I'll definitely give it. Yeah, she's a
feisty little one.
definitely. She's 7 months old, so yeah, she's pretty feisty. No, I'll definitely give it a 7 out of 10. This is definitely one where the segments kind of was a little bit better than the matches, although, you know, a couple of the matches were all right. I mean, there's nothing to write home about. But, you know, definitely something, you know, to kind of give you a good lead up to the pay-per-view. You know, it's not the best thing in the world, but hey, it at least makes you think about, okay, you know, this match is going to be could be like this, you know, kind of, and of course with the ladies segment, you know, gave you an idea of what to expect with them. From what I understand, the guys had the same type of situation on Raw, so you know it's pretty much, you know, pretty much it was the same thing, getting you ready for, you know, what you were going to see this Sunday at the pay-per-view, and all the hyping I've heard for the NXT takeover. That's another one that I'm kind of looking forward to, and actually seeing the former diva Mickie James going after the ladies title on there with Asuka. So that's going to be one that I'm going to be really looking forward to as well. So other than that, let's put like Bullock said, let's put the bow on it.
All right, guys. So that's it for the night. And we got a lot of coverage and a lot of content coming up this week. I mean, oh, man. All right. So is College Football Thursday. We're going to have all the coverage coming up. And after a wacky and turbulent Saturday, I mean, we got ourselves an explosion of stuff that's coming out. The new Power Poll, I mean, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Sunday and then Friday is the NFL. The NFL Friday. We got that show coming up. We're going to give you all the looks for the upcoming week and a new power rankings and a brand new number one will be crowned. Who's that team? You're just going to have to wait and find out. Saturday night, I believe. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. Normally, traditionally, Saturday nights is the Survivor Series preview. So we're going to hold. We don't know what's going on. We're going to have to wait till the producers of the show let us know what's going on, but we'll find out soon enough. However, Sunday night, this is legit, and we will let you guys know right now. It is going to be the Survivor Series recap. Now, will there be another recap? An NXT recap? I don't know. Again, We're going to have to go through the producers, figure it out, and we'll go from there. Then Monday night is once again ridiculously Raw, and I'll be there. I'll be here this week. Unfortunately, I know a lot of people were like, "What happened? Why was Mike not there?" Unfortunately, it was work commitments beyond my control. I did talk about it in a video. I don't know if it was kind of lost in translation or whatnot, but I did mention it. But whatever. And then 1 week from tonight, we're gonna do another edition of the Cerebral Smacktalk. We're going to have the fallout from the Survivor Series, as this will be episode 901. And one other thing, I know you guys were hoping, if you guys were hoping for a Mikey's Mindset, don't worry, I won't cheat you out of that tomorrow, because I'm going to have 3 days off coming up. So tomorrow, you will get a special Mikey's Mindset. I'll talk about Lucha Underground. I'll talk about Ring of Honor. And I will set the table for RWA's Thanksgiving Throwdown. That's going down this Saturday night from West Warwick, Rhode Island, and the XWA Arena. So I will set everything for you guys tomorrow. So check your local listings. It's going to be right here on BraceFan95 on YouTube.com. So for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, for Dee Woodson, I'm Michael Fletcher. You know the routine, everybody. Hugs and hand pounds. We out. Have a good night, and so long for now.